Mainstream interest in D&D has exploded over the last 8 years since the launch of 5th edition in 2014, as shown by this graph of Google searches for D&D that I showed off a lot in a recent video about this peak of D&D, which we can see right over here in August of 2020. And in that video, I speculated that this August 2020 peak was the result of a long break in seasons of Stranger Things, because we had season 1 of Stranger Things coming out right around here, where we first see growth really pick up, and then, oh no, it levels off in mid-2017, but October 2017, we get more Stranger Things, we get more growth, all the way up through season 3 coming out in July of 2019, which is before we get that biggest peak, because season 3 of Stranger Things was the most popular one yet until season 4, which has come out just beyond the end of this graph. So let's see what that looks like. So right over here is where we have this August 2020 peak, and now just at the end where we have some data for these first weeks of June, you can see right there, May 22 to the 28th, in that week is when Stranger Things Season 4 launched, and then we get this massive vertical spike, surpassing that peak that all the marketing that Wizards of the Coast did over the last 2 years could not even come close to what Stranger Things Season 4 just did. Again, this is people searching for D&D online, so this is people discovering the game. It's not sales for Wizards of the Coast or Dungeons & Dragons, but I think this is a huge indicator that there is so much more growth to be had in the hobby because this many people were just suddenly interested in it. And along with this season, there was a strange sudden interest in something else D&D related. Let's check it out. So now in red, we have the search results for Vecna. We can see there's a tiny peak here around October 2017. I'm wondering if that's the end of Critical Role Campaign 1. And then we get another peak for Vecna around mid-April, when I guess that's probably when it was revealed that he would be the villain of Season 4 Stranger Things. But then we get this massive peak, surpassing even D&D. Let's look at that closer up. Yeah, so in the last 30 days, with the launch of Stranger Things, Vecna, a D&D character, right? A D&D villain, had more interest, more people searching for that than for D&D itself. That's pretty monumental, and it's why we see D&D now trying to latch onto that as much as possible by publishing that free adventure, the Vecna dossier, some toys and models of Vecna. They're really trying to ride this thing as much as they can, and I don't blame them. In fact, I think they're going to take it much further. I think the character of Vecna, is really going to be influencing how D&D switches from 5th edition to 5.5 in 2024. So keep an eye out for my Vecna conspiracy video, but in the meantime, check out this one about the peak of D&D, which is now, I guess, not the peak anymore, and keep building.